Hi, this is Suzette from Anewyoricanthing Kitchen. Today we're going to be cooking arroz con gandules, which is yellow rice and pigeon peas. I just want to point out the main things that you guys have to get is the caldero. Very important because this is really going to be the best way to make rice and beans. So go out and purchase one of these. Very important for you to start. We're going to start at a high temperature with your caldero. So we're going to start with 1/3 of vegetable oil or corn oil. You don't want to use olive oil. It does give it a different flavor. So after we put in the oil, you want to put in your sofrito, which is of course the base of every Puerto Rican cuisine. So this is my homemade sofrito, which I do sell, and I'll give you that information later. So basically I do is 2 tablespoons of the sofrito. So we got 1. Don't be shy to use even more if you want to. It's just going to give you flavor. The next thing you're going to do is use sazon. I make my own sazon, but you can buy the stuff at the store, perfectly fine. And what you want to do is you want to use a tablespoon of your sazon. Okay, if you want it to be a little redder, you can always add a little bit more. Sometimes I add another little pinch. That's up to you guys. And then olives. Olives are optional. I know not everyone loves olives, so that's up to you. Olives does give it a nice flavor, so you may even, if you're not a crazy fan of olives, my mother taught me a trick that you use the juice of the olives to add that extra little flavor. So if you're not crazy about the olives, you can add the juice. And basically we're going to let this cook down because the sofrito has to cook. The other little secret that my mom shared with me is she takes a pinch of oregano, and you want to kind of crush it between your fingers to get the essence of the oregano out. And you're just going to just sprinkle that in. Gives your rice another additional layer of great flavor. Okay, so this is really nicely done. You see a nice red color. We are now going to add the rice. So there's 2 cups of long grain rice. Short grain rice takes a little bit more water, a little longer, so I prefer the long grain rice. So we're going to just add that to our sofrito mix. Okay, and then I'm using gandules, which are in the can. You can buy different name brands. I've already taken it out of the can, and you do not want to get rid of the water. You're going to use the water of the beans. If you don't like gandules, you can do pink beans, red beans, whatever beans you like. So I'm going to go ahead and pour these beans into my rice. So I'm going to add the 3 3/4 of water. Okay. Mix it together, and now's your time to add your salt. I suggest when you add salt to the rice and beans, the water should be slightly salty. Okay, so we added the salt. I'm going to go ahead and taste it. Perfect. So we're going to let that boil because it has to absorb. Now the key to this is you are not going to touch this rice. So we're going to let it boil. You're going to be tempted to stir it. Do not stir it. We're going to let it boil until all the water is absorbed, and then we mix it. So we're just going to go ahead and let this boil, and then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, it's nice and dry, so at this point now we can stir it. So what you want to do is you want to give it a nice stir, and what I like to do is I like to put it in a little mound You're going to lower your temperature to low, and at this point you're going to cover the rice. And the same rule applies. You're going to cover it and let it cook for 15 minutes. And you don't want to keep uncovering it and looking at it or even stirring it. You're just going to ignore it for 15 minutes. Okay, so our 15 minutes are up. Now we can take a peek at the rice. And at this point, you want to stir it again so that it can now cook nice and evenly. So give it a nice stir. And you're going to cover it again. You want to keep the rice covered for another 10 to 15 minutes until your rice is nice and fluffy. Again, we're not going to uncover or mix the rice during that cooking time. Okay, so now it's time for the rice to be done. It looks fabulous. It's nice and fluffy. Now it's time for the taste test. Oh my God, it's so good. Happy cooking, guys. I hope you can make this soon. Bye.